Namaste, everyone. I welcome you all to today's Yes Talk titled Prevent to Protect Proactive Steps for Cancer Prevention. Our guest speaker today is Dr. Sujata Pathak, a product of AIIMS New Delhi. She is a medical scientist who started at AIIMS as an undergraduate in 2001. She eventually went on to earn a PhD in biochemistry from the same institute. She's now working as a scientist in the Department of Preventive Oncology at AIIMS-Delhi. Her contributions extend outside the confines of the laboratory as she actively engages in outreach programs aimed at raising awareness about cancer and screening for early detection of cancer. She's passionate about inspiring hope and driving positive change in the fight against cancer. Sujata ma'am, we are glad and honored to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being with us. Look forward to your session, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Arunima, for such a kind introduction. And I'm really thankful to you and Bijlani sir, who has been my teacher at AIIMS in my graduation time. So I'm really honored and happy to be here. So today we will be talking on cancer prevention. So I'll start sharing my slides. So is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Ms. Arunima told that I am a scientist at AIIMS, Preventive Oncology Department, and I really like my work because it helps people to know. I like my work as it make people aware and more proactive in towards their health and well-being. So I'll start my presentation now. So, and thank you everyone for joining us because we are here for a shared purpose that to explore the power we hold in our hands, the power to prevent. So we will be talking about this as we go on. So first, to understand the prevention, we should understand the problem. So problem and the magnitude of the problem, that how much it is affecting our lives. So I'll start with some factual thing. Uh, so burden of cancer worldwide, more than 19 million cases of new cancer incidents has been detected. This is 2020 data, and almost half of them dies every year. And in India alone, nearly 15 lakhs new cases have been detected every year, and more than 8.5 people dies of cancer in India alone. And this estimated deaths by cancer by 2040 has been estimated to 1.38 million, which is a very big number, and it is growing up like anything, and it needs to be stopped. And to reduce the number, we need to understand the measures, and we need to take the measures to prevent this. So in general, what is cancer? So we are going to talk about prevention and burden. So we should understand a little bit about what cancer does and what it is. So cancer is something where cells divide abnormally or uncontrollably. Like it is being divided somewhere. There are divisions needed when there is a case of repair, or like in digestive system, there is always being repaired going on. So there we need the natural divisions. But in cancer, cells divide abnormally. They becomes they and after dividing, they clump together and form tumors. So when tumor is there, then after forming the tumor, it can spread to other parts of body and can affect the function of different organs, which are very vital for our like daily well-being. So it can be very serious if it is not treated or not detected early. So what causes cancer? Cancer can be caused by like two kind of factors. One is modifiable and another is non-modifiable. So mainly three parts are there which are involved in causing cancer. First and foremost is our lifestyle and the environment we live in, and the family history. Family history is something which is not in our hand, so it is non-modifiable. So we cannot do much about it. But there are things like lifestyle changes we can do, the modifiable part of the cancer prevention that can be done very easily, and it can prevent, you won't believe, it can prevent around 60 to 70% of cancer we are having nowadays. So this is just the extension of that picture only. So these are the risk factors like uh, family history, which is also called as genetics, lifestyle, and environment. If all these three come together, it increases your risk. So risk is what? Risk if like if I know there is a wet surface and if I'll go, yeah, I have to move carefully on that. Otherwise, there are chances of falling me down is more. So risk factor increases the chances of getting cancer more. So if lifestyle changes and environment, these two can be modifiable. So if you are already predisposed to certain genes which fall in the family history category or genetic category, the chances of cancer increases. Getting cancer is much more than a normal person. So at least we can work on two-thirds of it by changing our lifestyle, and some part of the environmental part also can be modified. So this is a pie chart showing um, how much percentage of different lifestyle things are um, like important for developing cancer. So you can see in this pie chart that tobacco alone causes 30% of the cancer or maybe more than that. And diet is responsible for 35% of cancer. So diet and tobacco habits alone can reduce your cancer by many fold times, because they are alone causing almost 65 to 75, 70% of the cancer. And others are like viruses, uh, occupational factors, alcohol consumptions, and radiation exposure. So I will come to the proactive steps for cancer prevention. So first and foremost is healthy diet. So we all know that uh, our healthy, so as we seen that 35% of the cancer is caused by unhealthy diet. So this is totally in our hand. We can practice a healthy and balanced diet in our lives, and we can reduce the cancer many folds by this. So what we can do? So we can add a lot of fruits, vegetables, colorful, different colors fruits in our diet. We can reduce the red meat consumption. We can take lean meat or limit our processed food consumption, and by this thing we can maintain a healthy weight, because as much as we like add processed food in our diet, it increases the salt consumption, sugar, all the preservatives, which is very harmful for our body, and unhealthy fats, which can increases the inflammation, which we know that it is a risk factor for developing cancer. So, nutrient-rich food, healthy diet, which are low in processed food, salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats, is very much a doable thing and a desired thing to do. So, whatever factors, whatever steps I'm going to talk about, you might be knowing this. but we don't have enough motivation for this. So for this, we need to be like we need to be ready to take charge of our body, because prevention, it is an old saying, but it is very true that prevention is better than cure. So uh, taking these proactive steps, if it can prevent cancer, because cancer is not even one person's disease, it is a family who suffers in this. It is the whole family which suffers. How they suffer mentally, physically, financially, they are drained. So to reduce, to prevent all these things, we can start living a healthy life now. So we can start with the healthy diet, and we can increase fruits and vegetables intake, our limit our processed food consumption, and thereby maintaining a healthy weight. So the other second and most important point is regular physical activity. So this point also, we all know that we should be doing it, but it is always in our minds. We always think that we will start from tomorrow, we'll start from tomorrow, abhi to koi problem nahi hai, we can wait and let's see. कैंसर मुझे थोड़ी होगा. हम ऐसे कई बार सोचते हैं ना कि it happens to other people, we hear about it, but it is not the case. Cancer doesn't discriminate. It can, it is not a friend for anybody. It can occur in old or young, even in kids, it is not a gender specific disease. It happens in male, females, everyone. It doesn't see the ethnicity. It, it is like a non-discriminating thing, which it can be a disease for poor, rich, for everyone it is same. So everyone start incorporating these healthy lifestyle changes in their routine so that they can lead a healthy life, and they prevent their family also from all these financial, physical, and mental health burden. So the after a healthy diet, we should focus on our regular physical activity. So at least what are the recommendations for it? So there is a recommendation that at least 30 minutes of physical activity in the form of brisk walk, yoga, uh, like exercises, aerobics, swimming, anything. You can do it for 30 minutes per day, at least 5 days a week, which makes it 150 minutes per week at least. And exercise also reduces cancer risk by how it reduces the cancer risk by regulating an ideal weight, your ideal BMI, regulating your improving the hormone balance, because sometimes hormones also cause disbalance in hormone also leads to cancer eventually. So maintaining physical activity improves your hormone levels, improves your immune function, it reduces inflammation, it promotes healthy digestion. So everything is a positive change if you start doing this. And when you start doing this, you will start enjoying it also. It will be incorporated in your lives. You will be feeling more energetic also. So normal day-to-day life will also be uh, very much enhanced. You will find the change. The quality of life increases. Quality of life becomes better. Third, and this is also a very important point, as I have shown you in my pie chart, that tobacco alone causes more than 30% of cancer. So this is also in our hands. Though I don't think the users will be agreeing with me, but it is in our hand. If we wish to do that, we can take help of professionals, and at least we should have the motivation to quit it. And I would suggest that if someone has not started it, they should not start. And if someone is doing it, they should quit. And someone who has quit should never start again. So, avoiding tobacco, tobacco also there are different forms of tobacco. There is chewable, non-smoking tobacco, and one is smoking. So people take in the form of cigarette, bidi, gutka, zarda, betel nut, like pan they take, supari, some people do that bull manjan thing. Once in a camp, we were addressing a few like rural people, and there I told about this bull manjan, and one person came forward and he said he had started developing some changes in his oral cavity because of he was being a very long user of bull manjan. So these small things we don't understand, but they are containing tobacco and products which is harming your oral mucosa cavity, the lining of your oral cavity, and maybe it can create a bigger problem and it can lead to cancer. So, uh, and I see people like even if you are around any bus stop or auto stand, you will see people having gutka like anything. It is very common, and they think we are working very hard, we get stressed out, so we need to have these things, these habits. But no, it's not that. It's all in our mind. If we decide to quit it, we can quit it, and it's for our own good. And for this, we have to be aware. And after getting aware, you need to take action. So that is really very important. So, what all type of cancer is associated with tobacco or smoking? So there are, in general, cancer has been always significantly correlated with smoking. So it affects all the cancers. And but most importantly, it reduces the risk of lung cancer, mouth cancer, throat cancer, pancreas, and kidney cancer. And it also, like, people who are already in the treatment, like they have detected, they are being detected early in the stage of cancer, like oral cancer, pancreatic cancer, throat cancer, because of smoking. If you stop smoking that time also, the treatment outcome becomes better, you respond to the treatment better, and also even after you are cured with the, like, you surgeon has removed the lump of from your mouth or where tongue or wherever it was in the oral cavity or throat, if you quit smoking or tobacco use, even the relapse of cancer is reduced significantly, because there are relapses also. People who are not I don't know how much they know about this recurrence thing, that once cancer is even cured, it is, there are very high chances that it relapses, it happens again. So if you have quit smoking, the treatment outcome will be better and the chances of recurrence will be very much reduced. So there is a win-win thing, and there is nothing out of this you're gaining. So please make up your mind, whoever is the user or in the family, whoever is using this, please make them understand that this is very important to quit smoking. It is really harming your body and your loved ones. So I can even give you some references after my presentation where you can go for this tobacco cessation thing. So at least first make up your mind and avoid tobacco in any form. Another point is limit your alcohol consumption. So the recommendations are, for men, it is like uh, 2 peg per day is not recommended, but it is like within limits. And for women, it is one. So, but if you try, it is always better, but try to reduce the consumption as much as possible, because alcohol also increases the risk of liver cancer, breast cancer. And you know that in India, breast cancer is the first and foremost cause of death in females. So, and if you limit the alcohol consumption, it reduces the risk of liver cancer, breast cancer, and colorectal cancers also. Sun protection. Many times we don't understand, like we are not habituated of putting sunscreen. That, but it really affects if you don't use it. It affects your skin, and it may cause to lead to cancer also. So try to avoid as much as sun exposure you can. And if you have to go in the, if you are exposed to sun, you should be applying SPF sunscreen with SPF more than 30. That will reduce the chances of getting ultraviolet radiation penetration in your skin, and thereby preventing you from skin cancers. Vaccination. This is a very important and useful thing. Uh, Today also I went to a school in the morning for convincing the parents for HPV vaccination for their adolescent children. So vaccination, I'm sure you all know about HPV vaccination. HPV vaccine is human papilloma virus vaccine, which is given against cervical cancer, and it is the only cancer which can be prevented by vaccine. So why not take it? So this comes under primary prevention, that the virus, it is caused by a virus. So when the virus you are not even exposed with the virus, before that you are giving the vaccine, so that you will be prevented for the lifetime. So um, HPV vaccines are available in India. I would like to make a point here that since 2006, there are two kind of vaccines which are available in India: bivalent vaccine and quadrivalent vaccines. Uh, and there is an indigenous vaccine which has been developed by Serum Institute of India, named as Savavac, which is a cheaper vaccine because initially it has not been like it's been government is not including this vaccine in the immunization program. Why they are not able to include it? Because the vaccine is very costly. So now the Serum Institute of India has made a vaccine named Sovavac, which is much cheaper than the earlier vaccine. Um, which should be included. You might have heard the budget news in which Ms. Sitaraman has said that they will be vaccinating kids from 9 to 14 years of age for HPV vaccine. Let's see post-election what they do. But that should be included. But even if that is not included, your kids are growing up. Their age is increasing. So the vaccine is mostly preferably given between 9 to 14 years of the age. And post that, you can also give the vaccine, but the doses has to be given more. Like since from 9 to 14 years, 2 doses are enough, but post 14 to 26 years, 3 doses have been recommended. So this is just a few HPV vaccines I have listed that currently are used in India. There is Gardasil 4 and Gardasil 9. So these have been given since beginning, but now Savavac quadrivalent has also been included in the vaccination list. So you can get it in any pediatrician. You can go to your physician who is pediatrician. They can write you this vaccine, and you can give your child. And also, I would like to tell that in my morning session for vaccination in the school, I came to know that many people are not aware that this vaccine is being can be given to boys also. They have always thought about that only girls should be given this vaccine, but that is not the case. Boys should also be given. It gives a herd immunity to the whole population, and because it does not, the virus does not cause only cervical cancer. It also causes different cancer which can affect boys also, like anal cancer, oropharynx cancer, penile cancer. So it causes more than 6, 7 cancers. So it will be protecting against all of these cancers. So at least there will be some worries we can reduce. And also that I would like to tell you that HPV only cervical cancer in India. Every day, 200 women are dying of cervical cancer. Every day, every 8 minutes, one woman is dying of cervical cancer. And this is really a shame. I feel very bad while saying this, that even after we have so many preventive measures for cervical cancer, we are contributing nearly 1/5 of the cancer burden for cervical cancer in the world. Like 20% of uh, death because of cervical cancer happens in India alone, which is really very shameful. So we need to be aware, and after getting aware, we need to take the action to reduce it. So if anyone interested, they know the dosage schedule. And this is, as I said, between 9 to 14, 2 doses are recommended. Even On research basis, one dose is enough, but as per the guideline, two doses are enough for 9 to 14, and post that, three doses are applicable. So this is just the vaccine which has been indigenously developed by Serum Institute of India. And last but not the least, regular screening. It can prevent you from a lot of uh, harassment, the pressure, the problem which comes with cancer. So regular screening, what all we can do? There are in the Indian guidelines, there are three cancer which can be preventable by screening. So what are those? One is breast cancer, second is cervical cancer, and third is oral cancer. So these three cancer uh, can be preventable, and for them screening is available. So in even in like I am in preventive oncology department, we have a clinic at AIIMS on Saturday and Friday. We see these three kind of cancers. We don't see them. They are healthy volunteers who come by their will with their motivation, and we screen them for these cancers. So this can be done after 30 years of age. Like for HPV vaccination, I told you that HPV vaccines should be given in the children, but there is not 100% of efficacy. So the children who has received all the doses of HPV vaccine, they should also be getting screened after 30 years of age. And the people like us, for at our times, the vaccines were not available. So we are eligible and we should be undergoing for regular screening checkups. So for from 40 years onwards, mammogram is recommended. For 45 years of age, mammogram is recommended, and clinical breast examinations are recommended. And also in our clinic, we teach women to do self breast examination so that they can check their breast themselves every month, and can come across if there is some difference or some lump they find. I would like to share a small personal thing with you people, that my mother has been diagnosed with breast cancer in 2022. And we were so lucky that it was self-diagnosed by her. She diagnosed it herself. So she found this lump and she told me that I have found a lump which is mobile, but I don't think it is a cancer because it is painless. So many people have this thing also in their mind, that if it is not paining, it must not be cancer. So I just asked her to get a biopsy done, and in that it was confirmed that it is a cancer. So we got it like treated, and she's fine. She's doing fine. She has come for the follow-up also, and she's doing fine. So I just want to tell you the like power of self-diagnosing it. That if you are aware how to do it, you can. We were like we were privileged that she told us, and we got it done. Otherwise, abhi to, we all might have been in very much pain and stress and everything. So at least it was diagnosed early by herself. So self breast examination is also recommended for prevention of breast cancer. If I'm not showing it here, but please go to YouTube channels, and you can type self breast examination, and you can learn it, and you can do it every month. Just it needed to be done once in a month. So clinically, physician who are expert in this, they will do clinical breast examination and can advise mammogram if needed. And pap smear and HPV DNA tests are done for cervical cancer, for early detection of cervical cancer, and colonoscopy for colorectal cancer, and so on. So with all the points, what we have learned, like uh, there are main 7 points which can be which should stuck in our mind always, and we should practice it, because prevention is something which will come when you are practicing it in your lifestyle, when you are incorporating it in your lifestyle. So first and foremost is diet. Make healthy choices. Second is regular exercise, because it can reduce your risk of getting cancer immensely. Third is avoid smoking. because that is also a big cause of cancer in our country. And um, fourth is reduce alcohol consumption. One is vaccination, for which HPV vaccines are available against cervical cancer, and hepatitis B vaccine can reduce the risk of liver cancer. And also get screened regularly. These things can reduce your cancer risk immensely without your knowing. So just be aware, empower yourselves, empower your health and well-being through knowledge and awareness with small little steps taken every day, and make it a habit and spread awareness. Don't let it confine to yourself. Please spread it like a chain reaction. Everyone would know, and uh, there will be more awareness, and it will empower other people also. We will be empowered as a society. We will be a healthy society. And the risk, we have seen that it is estimated that the cancer cases will go up to 1.38 million alone in India. The death, not the cancer cases, it will be double of that. uh, 1.38 million deaths is estimated for 2040. We after like with awareness and empowering ourselves with knowledge and taking the right action at the right time can reduce the risk immensely. And definitely, if it will reduce the risk, there will be no new cases, like less new cases and less death. So this is the all I wanted to say. And there is some now the time for action. So this is the number I wanted to share. This is our oncology clinic, preventive oncology clinic, which is there on Friday, on Saturday, Friday afternoons 2 to 5, and in the morning 9 to 1 on Saturdays. So this is our duty mobile number. I just wanted to share. If someone can be benefited from it, please you can take this number and contact us. Thank you so much. Please invest in your health and be healthy and happy. Thank you. If we have some questions, please.
Thank you, Sujata ma'am. Thanks a lot for this session. The data that you shared itself proves how important it is to raise awareness in today's date. And I'm sure your session today will be helpful to so many. Ma'am,
Yeah, hopes.
if you could stop sharing the screen, then
Yeah, sure.
we'll check with the participants now if
Sure,
they
sure.
have any questions. You can use the chat box and or unmute yourself, raise the hand, unmute yourself. You can speak up.
Hello.
Yes.
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 One of the points that you mentioned is about tobacco chewing,
Yes, sir.
and we in India are very fortunate to see large majority of people indulging in tobacco chewing, and the
Yes.
media also advertises. There is no bar on advertisement of tobacco products, and
Yes.
we are almost like on a self-destructing mode on a vast majority of population. Can this not be a government policy to stop those products into the market, or stop, or do whatever, so that the tobacco and the human being don't reach each other? Your opinion, please.
You're absolutely right, sir. I used to think this way always, that why they don't they stop it if it is so much uh, causing so much of cancer and health risk. But it is something related to economy, which we are not here. We cannot say anything about that. It should be government's policy. So we can advocate about it if we get a chance, but we cannot do anything. But there should be definitely some strict steps to be taken for this, because I don't think anybody sees the picture of a cancer tobacco. I've seen like on roads that there is a picture of a person having a big mouth cancer is there, but nobody sees it. Just they are doing it. If government plays a role, it can be stopped, it can be reduced with like immensely. But they have to start doing it. We cannot do this. We can just make people aware. We are not sitting on that side. So, of course, my opinion, if I would be there, I would definitely want government to stop it as much as possible. But I'm on this side of chair and I can just make people aware, then don't take it. So there is a matter of demand and supply. I can talk about demand, not the supply. That is not in my hand. So you are totally right, sir. I'm agreeing with you, but we can't do much about it. It should be
Thank
in
you.
government's policy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have some words of appreciation for you in the chat box. And a quick small question also.
Yes.
Ruchi Tomar says, if my father had cancer, how many
Mhm.
chances that it would run in family?
Okay. So, Ruchi, actually, not every cancer is genetic. So you need to understand one thing, that there are few cancer which are genetic in nature, like breast cancer. There are a few percentage of population who are having associated with the gene. So it depends. Like cervical cancer, if someone is having cervical cancer, there is no risk in the family because it is caused by an infection. So it is not in the gene. It is coming from the outside and the sexual behavior of the person. So it depends on the type of the cancer the person is having, that it is genetically linked or not. And if it is genetically linked, if there are tests available, so you can go and get that test done. That is also being done at AIIMS. If you want any information, we can provide you. But it depends on the type of the cancer, that if it is genetically linked or not. Not all cancers are genetically linked.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Participants, if anyone else wants to ask something or share something, please go ahead.
Even if you have kids, you want to know about vaccination thing, that also you can ask if you have any query, because it is all about prevention. So anything comes in your mind, please ask. Or want to share some experiences. That can also be. That also will
Yes,
be very nice.
yes, Sujata ji, I have got my daughter vaccinated for 2 doses
Very
of
good.
the cervical cancer. But
Very
my
nice.
son, who is 17 years old now, as you said that he can also be protected by, I mean, boys also need vaccination. So is
Yes,
there
of course.
at this age, like
Yeah,
he's
this is fine. He needs 2 doses. That's it. I have also got my son vaccinated. So
okay,
you should also get it done. And he just need 2 doses. Like 2 doses will be sufficient for him. So you can go to any pediatrician and get the vaccination done. He should
okay,
get it.
okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Yes,
One more question.
yes, sir.
You mentioned about the sunscreen.
Yes.
Now India is a land where the sun is fierce, and we do have to go out in the sun,
Right, sir.
sometimes with umbrella, sometimes without it.
Right.
Uh, I am not personally aware of the use of sunscreen, which I believe are mostly done by ladies. But I presume you recommend it for ladies and men both.
Yes, sir. We all have skin. It is not gender specific.
So what is the
Everyone
what?
should apply it. Yes, it
But
is for men and women both. It is
the
recommended
skin,
for everyone. Yeah,
the
it is for
skin
skin.
is the point is the skin is starting from the head right to the feet. Which are the parts that you needs protection, or all over the
Whichever,
body?
whichever part is exposed. So it needs protection actually. But mostly faces are exposed, so we put it on the face. But even few people are so sensitive that they get uh, a problem on their hands or whatever part exposed. So many times you might have seen girls using the full gloves, the hand gloves up till
Yeah.
the arm. So this is for sun protection only. So try to cover it, like have full length clothes if possible while going into the sun. And as much as protection measures you can take, like umbrella, goggles, which is covering the whole eye, because this eye area is very sensitive to sun. The skin is different under eye. So we use goggles. So it is, many people thinks it is as a fashion statement, but no, it is really protecting your eyes from the sun. So use different measures and sunscreen. Wherever the skin is exposed, uh, that should be covered by sunscreen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Bijlani, sir, I request you to share your thoughts, please.
Thank you, Arunima, for the opportunity. And thank you, Sujata, for an extremely informative and illuminating talk. As a student, you have done me proud.
Thank you so much, sir. Means a lot to me.
Towards the end of the session, let me go back to where you started, that this is an empowering session. It's a session that empowers the people, tells them that the power to prevent cancer is in your own hands.
Yes.
So that, I think, was a very important and powerful statement that you made. Some of the things that came up during the discussion in question answer session, maybe I'll take up some of those which came up towards the end. One was that about the sunscreen. Now, things like exposure to the sun have a dose-response relationship. And therefore, it's not just the exposure, but also how long one gets exposed. And unfortunately, the paradox is that those who can afford sunscreens spend very little time in the sun, and those who spend a lot of time in the sun can't afford sunscreens. So that's a sad fact. Second, about the inheritance, that if my father has cancer, how much chances that we will get it? And you quite rightly said that the genetic tendency is different for different types of cancer. So one can't generalize, but even when the tendency is there, it's only a tendency. When it will express, how much it will express, what will be the consequences, all that is still in our own hands. We can't change our genes, but those are things which we can still do something about. And that's why we talk generally in terms of the modifiable risk factors rather than about the non-modifiable ones like genes.
Yes.
So it's only the tendency that is inherited, and the expression depends a lot on how much of the preventive strategies we adopt, which you have talked about. And in tobacco, India, of course, has a double problem, not only because of smoking, but perhaps even a bigger problem because of oral cancers, which result from chewable tobacco. About the diet, which you again said quite rightly, in fact, accounts for 35% of the cancers, about 1/3 of the cancers. There's one blanket statement which one can make, and that is that all protective factors against cancer are found in plant foods. And all the carcinogenic substances are found in animal foods. So that actually makes a very good case for vegetarian diets. In exercises, in modern scientific medicine, as you said, I mean, we have a tendency to equate all types of exercise. Of course, any exercise is better than no exercise at all. And roughly what is recommended, as you said, is about half an hour of an aerobic exercise, which may be just a brisk walk for half an hour. But having said that, if one has the time and the inclination, learning other forms of exercise, particularly yogic postures, has a place. Because these postures not only give us a top to toe workout, which all exercises don't, but these exercises also affect the mind besides affecting the body. They have a relaxing effect. And the mind-body relationship in cancer may not be absolutely 100% established, but all the same, there are strong indications that the mind-body relationship does play a part both in causation and treatment of cancer or recovery from cancer. So yogic postures are good. And of course, there are other practical benefits in yogic postures. One doesn't have to go out to a gym. One doesn't need company. You can do it at home in any dress and at any suitable time, early in the morning or 4 hours after a meal, any time in the day. So there are a lot of practical conveniences associated with these postures, which many other exercises don't have. Then the fact that people who take gutka and cigarettes and alcohol and substances like that say that it is due to stress. And as you said, that they say we are under stress, we can't help it. But the fact is that to start with, it might have been due to stress, which is not always the case. Very often, it's other factors which are at play, like peer pressure and so on and so forth.
Right.
But uh, even if it was stress to start with, and to start with might have given some temporary relief, ultimately one reaches a stage where addiction itself becomes
Becomes a problem.
a source of stress, because not getting that substance adds to all the other stresses of life. And this was a very useful point you made, that the human papilloma virus vaccine, that HPV, is not only for girls but also for boys, and how it can protect not only by building up herd immunity but also by preventing some cancers to which the boys are also prone. I'll end these comments with the role of the psychological factors, and therefore corresponding to that, the spiritual uh, disciplines in prevention and treatment of cancer. The cancer cells, as you said, are rapidly dividing and they are undifferentiated. And therefore, they are recognized by the immune system of the body as not belonging to the body. And like other cells which do not belong to the body, it is the immune system that takes care of them. And that is the reason most of us do not get a cancer, because something going wrong with the cell cycle here and there occasionally is something which is probably happening in all of us all the time. But before it reaches the stage of a full-blown tumor, the immune system is able to identify these cells as not belonging to the body and is able to eliminate them. And therefore, it has a role in prevention, but it also has a role in treatment. Uh, the way you said, your mother was diagnosed quite early for breast cancer, and self-examination, therefore, in breast cancer is very important. That's an important part of the preventive strategies. Uh, and I'm glad that it was detected early and she underwent surgical treatment. And how surgical treatment helps is that it reduces the tumor load, takes away much of the tumor. But no surgeon can ensure that every single cancer cell in the body will be removed. Not only that, the manipulation of the tumor by the surgeon in the operation theater may in fact release some cancer cells into the bloodstream, which may travel to other parts of the body. But on the whole, the tumor load has been brought down drastically as a result of this surgery. And therefore, the few cancer cells that are still lurking in the body here and there can now be taken care of by the immune system of the body. And that is how patients who are diagnosed early and undergo a surgical treatment very often recover completely. And these are the cases whom we say had their cancer cured. So cure from cancer is possible, and it depends partly on early detection and surgical treatment. Because unlike chemotherapy and uh, radiotherapy, the surgical treatment does not compromise the immune system of the body. But all the same, post-surgery, whatever cells are left behind in the body, they still have to be handled by the immune system of the body, and therefore the immune system should be strong. And strong immunity again depends upon the same preventive factors: a good diet, exercise. But then what we neglect sometimes is that the mind also plays a part in keeping the immune system strong. Psychoneuroimmunology is now a well-recognized scientific discipline, which means the psychological factors can affect the immune system. And corresponding to this, so there is a cancer surgeon, Bernie Siegel, who observed early in his career that many patients who got cured of cancer after surgery were not necessarily those patients whose cancer was of a different type, but they were those who were of a particular type, which means what type of a person got the cancer also seemed to determine whether the person will be completely cured of the surgery. Now, who are the people who are more likely to be completely cured? Firstly, these were people who did not believe the doctor completely. If the doctor told them that an average patient, if the doctor told them that an average patient lives after this type of a cancer for just 2 years, they said, well, the doctor is not God, I'll prove him wrong. So they had a fighting spirit. That is one. The second thing that these patients had in common was that they did not look at the cancer as the end of the world, instead of looking at it as a catastrophe, they started looking at it as an opportunity to fulfill their long-standing desires. Now I got an advance notice, so let me try and do all those things which I have been postponing so far. So instead of focusing on the disease, they start focusing on unfulfilled desires and try to fulfill as many as possible within the short time that they think they have. But not only that, there's another characteristic which is even more important, and that is they start feeling that, well, life is short and now I have an advance notice. So why not be a nice person? क्या रखा है जिंदगी में, huh? If they have hurt somebody, they quickly approach that person and apologize. If somebody has hurt them, they quickly approach that person and tell them all is forgotten and forgiven. Now we can be friends again. And on the whole, they become more loving, more generous, more willing to care for others, more willing to share with others. So, because life is short. And the result is that they become better people, they grow spiritually through the disease. And not only that, other people also then are nicer to them because they are nice to people, people are nice to them, and people know that this person may not live very long, that makes them still nicer. So the result is that they build up a very positive atmosphere around them. So these are the people who are not focusing on the disease, not even focusing entirely on themselves, but instead reaching out to others in a more loving way, are the ones who are more likely to recover completely from cancer. And that is where spirituality comes in, because this type of universal love is a spiritual attribute and it leads to further spiritual growth, which is the very purpose of life. And the result is that these people, irrespective of how long more they live, they end up living a more meaningful remainder, and the remainder also seems to get longer, the remainder of their lives. And not only their own, they end up engineering the spiritual growth of many near and dear ones, and sometimes also the caregivers, the patients, and all who are looking after them. So these are some of the things which Bernie Siegel has brought to the forefront by not only adopting some of these things in his practice, because he found that if these are things which come to some people naturally, can they be induced in others? And he found that to some extent they can be. So he made this type of counseling and a pleasant atmosphere in the operation theater, like playing music in the operation theater, which has now become pretty common at many places. He started playing music there. He started giving them this positive boost. He stopped taking away hope from them that you live only this long, because sometimes doctors think that unless I tell the patient the truth that an average person lives for only 2 years, I'm not hiding something important from the patient. But the fact is that that also is not the whole truth, because that average of 2 years is made up of a large number. Some patients died within 6 months and some patients lived for 10 years. And all these put together form an average of 2 year expected life expectancy. So firstly, this particular individual may not be the one who will live 2 years. He may be the one who will live 10 years and still contribute to the same average of 2 year survival. That is one. So that's not the total truth. Secondly, the fact that some can live 10 years and some get cured completely is also a truth. So why not put it this way, that nobody knows how long you will live, but there are people who have got completely cured. So that's also a fact. And this is a battle we'll fight together. A lot of research is going on and newer modes of treatment are coming. And there's a lot that you can yourself do towards your uh, recovery, which also is a now a well-proven fact. So by talking along these lines, instead of taking away hope from the person or predicting that you are likely to die after 2 years, now you are giving a lot of hope to the person, which is also based on truths, which is also based on facts, which is not telling a lie. So there are different layers and different angles to the same truths, and it all depends upon what the doctor chooses to highlight. So these are some of the things that Bernie Siegel has brought out in some very popular paperbacks on cancer. One of them is titled Peace, Love, and Healing, and another one is titled Love, Medicine, and Miracles, because recovery from cancer or getting cured of cancer is like a miracle. People think it's a miracle, but then he says it's not really a miracle. And these miracles or freak cases or occasional cases can in fact teach us a lot. What is it that they have which other patients don't have? And what these patients have, can we induce it in others? can we use this to help other patients to whom this type of an attitude does not come very naturally. In fact, a lot of it is also available on the Yes Spirituality YouTube channel, on which your talk will also go. And add one more to the literature on cancer that we already have. We already have a video on cancer, a video on Bernie Siegel, and a video on smoking, and a video on alcohol. So this will add to that store of videos on this subject, which we already have on the Yes Spirituality YouTube channel. Thank you again for adding to our
Yes, sir.
fund of
Thank you, everyone.
knowledge
Thank you.
available to the viewers of this channel. And I'm sure, although the participants were not even 20, which is the usual number, but I'm sure many more will benefit from your talk when they see the recording, which will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Thank you
so
again.
much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arunima.
Thank you, sir. I would like to inform everyone that, as sir mentioned, the recording of this session and all the Yes Talks that we have every Saturday are published on our YouTube channel, Yes Spirituality. This is how it's spelled. We invite you to explore the extensive content there on broadly on yoga, education, and spirituality, and related subjects like self-help, psychology, and wellness. Sujata ma'am, thanks so much once again for your valuable time and for sharing.
Thank you so much. It was an honor. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks. I thank the participants as well for being with us today. We'll close today's session now with a moment of peaceful silence. Namaste.